Okay, well, welcome to our conversation class. Okay, today I want to talk about technology, maybe from our childhood, and then kind of to what's happened today, and then what will happen in the future. Because I think it's honestly really important, because if you think about it, when our grandparents were children, the technology that they had was not a lot, let's say. And nowadays it seems that we have everything. And so I just like your opinions about what you think about that, how things have changed maybe in your lifestyle, in your lifespan, sorry, so far, the changes you've seen, and what you think might happen in the future. Okay. Um, so I think the conversation should start with mobile phones or cell phones. Okay. I think that's probably, in my opinion, the most important thing today. Um, as these two know, I just had problems with the computer. Okay, so the computer was a problem, but I used my phone to communicate to them. So, everything is phone. It's just super important. So, I'm going to ask you two about your phone use. Are you obsessed? Do you need it? Do you panic if you don't have it with you? How do you feel about your phone? I feel like mine's just a compliment to my life. It makes my life easier, but I'm not obsessed, I don't think. Okay, so what about you two?
Okay, so shall I start? Okay, so you want to go
Yeah.
first?
Go ahead, Mark. Yeah, I don't have have a concrete idea yet, so go ahead, Mark.
Well, yes and no as well. Why? Reason being, cause every single work, whether it's paying your online bill or paying your fee or tuition fee or whatever, it has to be done on mobile. It's not like you just carrying your laptop from one place to another. It's like a lot of work. You cannot carry your huge, massive laptop here from here to here, from here to here. So it's kind of like easy for us to open up our phone and pay our bill. Let's say our phone bill or internet bill or Netflix bill and a lot of bill as well. So I guess it's become easier for us to do a lot of stuff which we were not able to do like 10 years ago, I guess. So phone are really necessary rather carrying laptop here and there.
Yeah, that's very true. It makes everything so much easier. I have a question, or someone has a question about how to say something in Spanish. I can look at it right here on my phone. And so it's just really, really convenient. Now, I also know people that are obsessed with their phone, and if I forget my phone at home, okay, fine. It's not the end of the world. I use it, for other classes and things like that. But for the time, for the calendar, for the calculator, and plus all of the apps and everything, obviously. And so, um, I feel like like I said, I think it just complements my life. It just helps me in many different ways. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, but it's super necessary. Like, if I didn't have a phone for a day, I'd be like, what time is it? What time is it? So, good.
Yeah,
Well,
same in here as well. Same in here
mhm.
as well. Like back in India, 5 years ago, we were, like we gotta travel like 5 kilometers away from our houses just to look for computers to get the information which we were not getting at home, or we were not having the phones on which we could see all the information that we wanted to see for a project or for anything which we can see now, so it's getting easier day by day, I guess.
Yep, and that's very true. And the technology just gets better and better and better. I know I look at my email, for example. I won't say which email I use, but you can see that there's more storage like every second or something. Huh? So it's strange how technology is, continuing to grow and get better. Um, because I've run out of ideas. What else do we need? We have laptops, we have PCs, we have phones. We have TVs, we have tablets, DVD players, or
iPad.
Netflix now. Who needs a DVD player anymore? What's a VCR? So, there's a lot of, we've come a long way from where we started. So, hey, Ken, does that give you enough time to think about what you want to say?
About telephone, you mean the phone?
Yeah, about your phone, for example. How often do you use it? What does it mean to you?
Actually, I don't have smartphone, so I rarely phone. Actually, I use Skype to talk to somebody nowadays more than phone. But
Interesting.
some old people here don't don't know how to use computer. In that case, I cannot call them to. I can call them to Skype because if I pay for the Skype, I can call. In America, I call to Japan via Skype. Yeah, that's why I started Skype actually. Yes, so I have a kind of traditional phone still, but it, for my internet connection actually. So so kind of technology is very changeable and it's a speed up faster and faster. And also sometimes I think nowadays people casually take photos and then they preserve it on computer, but I think it's easily to get lost in the future because if I preserve it on paper, maybe traditional photo, maybe I can find easier. But seems like I pictures I took on my mobile phone or digital camera, I some picture I lost actually. I preserve it on computer, but since the technology or computer change a lot, maybe so nowadays I'm thinking about that kind of thing.
Well, yeah. So I was just gonna say, I was watching a movie. You probably have heard about this movie named Passenger. In that movie, some people found different planet, and they were collecting people who want to travel over to that planet and live there. Abandon the Earth and live there. And I mean, the journey from Earth to that planet is about 2,000 years. Wow. But if people are, they're in their cells, they are like in hibernation kind of a thing. They sleep for 2,000 years, they maintain the same age. Wow. 2,000 years, they're going to be the same age. Like if I travel over to that planet and I, stay in my cell and in hibernation, and my age is for about, let's say, 16. So I'll stay 16, even if 2,000 years hasn't been passed. So technology has a lot of significance, I guess. In the future, I could see that we are leaving Earth and living in different place, which we never heard about. Possibly in the future, I guess.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with both of you. I do find it interesting that Ken, you don't have a mobile phone that's a smartphone, just because you think, oh, it's so normal, so you think everyone has it, and so I actually kind of think that's great too. Sometimes I think it would be great to not have a phone for like a week and just say, disappear phone, I don't want you, and remember kind of like the old days. But yes, technology is related to many, many, many different things. I mean, even with Ken, our last conversation that we had about, effectiveness and innovation, this pen that can erase or this pen that can click or, these things, is that technology?
Yeah.
Is that, it's advancing. It might not be electric, but
Right.
it's still getting better. So what I want to do is I want to post some questions I have for you. So let me just go ahead and share my screen here for a second. Actually, not that one, this one. Okay. Okay, great. So 1 second, it's coming. There we go. So you can see this now. Okay. So these are questions that I have. And so the first one says, how has having a mobile phone changed your life? And Ken, we can start with
Mhm.
you. I think you're older
Okay.
anyway. You're the oldest of the group today. So, I
Maybe.
mean, I remember, sorry, I remember what it's like to first have my parents have a mobile phone, which they didn't have, until I
Mhm.
was old enough to realize this.
Right.
So I know what it's like to not have it, to have
Mhm.
it. And so
Mhm.
how is we'll call it, yours is called a dumb phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that, but it's not a
It's a
smartphone, it's a
long.
dumb phone. But
Yeah,
you're,
it's a long.
mhm.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, how has it changed your life in general, even having your not smartphone?
One big change I really found nowadays. I text message then somebody. Also, I in the past I grew up in a completely non mobile phone time.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, actually, like Thomas said, maybe at the beginning my home didn't have phone. So my neighbor, sometimes for the important call, somebody called to my neighbor's house, or we go to the neighbor's house to rental the phone. After that, house began to have a phone, but the phone is in the living room. Everybody can listen to what I'm talking. Very different circumstances nowadays. No privacy at all. And then while I was getting on there, no, before I got the one mobile phone for my part-time job. It's it's big one. I have to hang from the shoulder. That big mobile phone. So I thought, oh, mobile phone is annoying. It's heavy and it's big. And then maybe several years later, when I get on the maybe 10 years later, when I got on the monorail, people who was beside me, all of a sudden she began to talk to somebody. So I was surprised at, and I saw her, and she was talking to the small phone. At the moment, I realized, wow, mobile phone became such small. Yeah, that's the kind of, and then maybe many people began to have a mobile phone after that. And then nowadays, smartphone, as you said. Yeah.
Okay, well, I love that story. It sounds like you're probably older than you actually are if you didn't even have a phone in your house. I think that's just crazy because my parents always had,
Mm, mm,
a permanent line, a landline in their house. So, but different cultures too. So, no, it was interesting, and I loved, your progression of the phones as it went from zero or using your neighbors, then to
yeah.
having one and no privacy, and then, I'm sure that you got maybe a different phone in a different room, maybe had some privacy, and my parents actually had, it's called a bag phone, at least in the United States, where basically your phone came in a bag. And my parents used theirs in the car though, so I don't know
Mm,
if it's the same one, but yep, it was big. And so yeah, there's been a lot of progression, and I'm 30, so in the past 30 years, there's been a lot of different changes that we've seen. So I think that's fantastic. So thanks, Ken, for that.
you're
So Mark,
welcome.
why don't you go ahead and talk to us about how mobile phone has changed your life?
Well, every single thing, whether it's mobile phone or computer, has pros and cons, and I think mobile phone has pros and cons too. It has changed my life a lot, cause I used to work in the call center, which you probably heard about it, Becky. AT&T, I guess. Um, I used to work there for
Mm.
like 1 year, and I realized that each and every conversation with the customer I mean, they're living in different part of the world which we never been to, and each and every conversation is being done on the phone. and and business, business transactions or conversation or convincing of customer, every single thing is going on the phone. And I guess it has a lot of influence on people nowadays, because every single business meeting, whether a boss is talking to a group of people through Skype, or let's say I'm talking to my mom and dad who lives in different part of states. They're not living in here. They're living in different part of states on the phone. Um, 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 I talk to a lot of people who live in India. I talk to people who live in Canada. So for me, it's a way of connection, I guess. So yeah, it's mobile has a lot of influence in my life. It has a lot of influence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I can say the same thing. Yeah, it's so much easier to talk to my parents, my friends in the United States. So it definitely has changed my life in a good way. So that kind of leads me to the next question. Do you think that mobile phones are a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, it's good.
Well, they do say too much of a good thing is bad. So, for
Well,
example, chocolate. Too
yes,
much
excess
chocolate
of
is really
anything
bad.
is bad. Excess of anything is bad. You're right. You're right. But I mean,
Hmm.
you cannot, you know, be on your phone for the whole day. So it's kind of like you're just indulging yourself in one thing, which probably has some sense, but at times it has no sense whatsoever. So let's say
Hmm.
I'm watching a video or watching a movie for no such reason, or at the same time I have different work to look after, and I'm wasting my time on the phone by neglecting that work which I have,
Hmm.
right? So I guess too much of everything, as you said, or excess of anything is bad. So probably we should try to give time, but too much time is really detrimental, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, no, detrimental was a really good word. So, okay, good. Thanks. So, Ken, what do you think? Good or bad?
Yeah, as a whole, it's good because I experienced all things, no phone,
Mhm.
traditional phone and mobile phone, and then text
You've
message
yet
kind
to
of thing.
experience a smartphone.
Also, pager too. Yeah, before the mobile phone, pager became very popular. Yeah,
Beepers.
so deeper, yes, deeper. So yeah, nowadays people can communicate smoothly everywhere they are.
Hmm.
Distance or and it's no matter. It's easier. But if I dare to say one bad thing, probably businessman or sometimes people cannot escape from the something easily because
Hmm.
company can call you or can text you uh, even if anywhere you go. Before the mobile phone time, businessmen sometimes rest in the cafeteria or skipping jobs. They are too tired for the overworking or something like that. But nowadays, it's very difficult to do so.
Hmm.
So that's
Absolutely.
maybe maybe bad thing for the businessman or good thing for the company. Maybe.
No, I feel the same. I feel like sometimes your brain just doesn't shut off. You have,
Right.
so much to do.
Hmm.
And that's the problem today too. Everyone is now used to real time. Real time. I text you and I wouldn't answer now. I'm not, it's not like an email that you expect, oh no, maybe tomorrow morning I'll get an email or something when people are at the office for work or whatever. But no, we can email 24 hours a day from our smartphones.
Mm.
So, there's good and bad things about it. So I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Okay, so maybe talking about a bad thing. What do you think about people who talk on their mobile phones in restaurants? Depends on how loud they're talking. I will say that. because obviously if they're not talking very loud, I think it's probably okay. But Mark, why don't you go ahead and start that conversation off?
Well, I have seen a lot of people who talk on phone as if they're, wanted to meet a president or or they are, talking to a really important person. But at people, they're not talking on the phone. They're just, pretending as if they're talking to someone, right? And they just trying to brag as if they're talking to someone, as if they're a serious person, or they work a lot, or they're workaholic, or whatever. And I find those people as well who literally work as well. So I kind of find mixed people whenever I went to restaurant. People who work a lot and people who brag about by pretending or showing off that they're talking to someone, but in actual they're not talking, they're just pretending. So I guess it's kind of, yeah. In my case, I've found mixed kind of people, whenever I went to a restaurant, as I said before. Yeah.
Yep, and no, definitely agree. Good. So, Ken, what about you? Especially someone who doesn't have a smartphone. Well, I suppose mobile phones are the same. You're just talking normally. But what's your opinion?
Mm, I if their voice is not too loud, I don't care so much about that because people talking on the restaurant, with or without a mobile phone. And but some people dislike it. Maybe they think mm, some people, are afraid of new technology, because it's new, it's afraid. But it's no difference between talking in the restaurant and talking in the restaurant in the phone because if the voice is loud, it's noisy. So or maybe talking some moderated voice. Mm, But sometimes, if I met friend or if I met spending time in the restaurant, but text message comes, a mobile phone comes, and maybe they have to reply that. But if it is too long, maybe I sometimes might uncomfortable because during that time we cannot communicate with each other. So, but actually, I don't care so much about it. That's
Okay. Well, I suppose that's true. It doesn't even mean that we have to use mobile phones in restaurants. It's just people in general.
yeah.
And that could be babies, it could be old people that can't hear very well or something like that. So, yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. So, all right, good. Oh boy. Okay, and the last one about ringtones. What about the people that have their ringtones on very loud? And I'm just going to say it is terribly annoying when someone is speaking with having a virtual conversation via texting or WhatsApp or something, and they don't turn it down. And it's bing, 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 every 2 seconds, super loud. That is something that is terribly annoying. You're with other people, just turn it down. That's my opinion. Have some respect for everyone else. Like, yeah, it's terrible. That's what really bothers me. So, what do you two think? Who wants to start this conversation?
And what if you're in the library and suddenly your phone is started to beep and it's like, oh god, every single person attention goes on to you and you're like, oh god, so embarrassed. I'm in the middle of nowhere and my phone is beeping like hell. Where should I go? So it's like, yeah, you're right. It's not good. You should, try to keep your ringtone simple, sober, which kind of make you aware that yes, you getting a call and you should try to pick up the phone rather hung on. So yes, it's not good at all. Yep.
All right, good. No, again, I agree with you. Ken, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, sometimes it causes a problem, especially in a lecture, the university's lecture or your class, somebody forgot to change the mobile phone to minor mode, and big, loud ringtones, laps, and teacher and student got annoyed. It it's maybe we have to pay attention to the bell because of the nature of the bell to draw people's attention. So yeah, that's a kind of problem. But sometimes people forget to the mobile for mode or something. Maybe that's a difficult problem. Maybe the better solution, maybe yeah, maybe coach. For example, university's lecture, maybe a teacher said at the beginning, please check your mobile phone to or smartphone to in the mobile yeah such a mode or something like that. That's a good caution to all students or to all people in the class.
Mm-hmm. No, and I understand too. And I mean, I've had students in class in, an actual classroom that, I mean, their phone rings and they'll look at me and I'll be like, well, either answer it or hang it up, like I understand your people and that you need, your life isn't just this English class in this moment. You do have other parts of your life. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. If it's an emergency, go outside, talk to that person,
Yeah.
that's what happens. But, you have some respect, especially if you're texting. That really is terrible. I mean, I understand if you get a phone call because some people don't hear very well or for other, circumstances. But I think in general, everyone needs to kind of just be respectful. I feel that
Yeah.
many people these days aren't, and that's unfortunate. So,
Mhm.
well, good. Well, actually, it looks like Mark is having some problems over there with his technology, but let's take a look with this one. Okay. In this, we can see other questions. And it says, do you think that texting might make us worse at grammar and spelling in the future? Ken, what's your opinion?
Actually, writing system of Japanese is very different from English writing system. So I think it's less happening in Japanese text message because since the writing style is complicated, it's sometimes it's very difficult to skip like English to make abbreviation kind of thing. Maybe it's very difficult to make abbreviation, but sometimes kind of internet slang or smartphone slang is used. Also because people became more casual in the messenger than formal. So even that's a business talk, sometimes emoticon is added. It became common. So also, yeah, maybe distinct grammar for the text message that is happening. But spelling is very difficult to change here actually.
And that's something that I hadn't thought of. I mean, you're absolutely right that you kind of can't make words shorter. You can't do that. So that's a different aspect. That's awesome.
Yeah,
There's some things that you just don't think about because it's not
because
normal for you. Mm-hmm.
because Japanese combine two different types of letters and Chinese characters. So Chinese character is character. Since it is character, it cannot be simplified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we cannot make an abbreviation. So not so easily like in English.
Right. Well, like you said, that didn't even occur to me. I was like, um, thinking about myself and I thought, well, sure. I mean, it makes my Spanish not so great. I don't need to think about where are the accent marks and this and take so long because obviously we're texting things that make it easier for us,
Mhm.
shorter words, things like that.
Mhm.
So I agree with this because I feel that my written Spanish isn't where it should be, okay, compared to the conversation or the, speaking and listening, etc. parts. So I was going to agree. And then you bring up
Yeah.
that aspect. So great. Well, that was a really good point. Do you want to say anything else until we
Mhm.
go, or should we go to the next one?
Yeah, maybe I think that sometimes after the computerized thing happened, sometimes criticize people leaving reading book from reading book. But some people says we read and write more than ever because of the messenger. So maybe people be, is becoming be good at uh, to write short message more than ever, I think, because of the messenger nature of the messenger.
Okay, well, that's an interesting take too, because in English, there's actually a written language that's called shorthand, and it's basically just lines. And I actually don't really know, but my mom learned it when she was in school. And obviously, it's for situations where maybe in court, and you have to record what's going on. They write in shorthand, and then later they'll type it. And so there is something with symbols that's shorthand. So that's how we can write shorter too. But now we're using it with actual letters because we can type. So it's kind of a similar language if you think about it. But interesting. Okay. I suppose I didn't think about that. So good. All right. Well, let's go to the next one. It just says, do you know anyone who says they can't live without their mobile phone? What do you think about this attitude?
I think many people now can't live without their mobile phone.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Oh, because they rely on, especially smartphone, because they can do a lot of activity via phone nowadays. So they rely on smartphone so much. For example, they can search the internet. They can attend a class, internet class. Also, they pay through the mobile phone or smartphone. Also, they can get on the plane, not plane, train, to just to how can I say to touch the screen. So they nowadays
Oh, to take a picture of the
passenger can
screen.
yes. So passenger cannot buy don't have to buy a paper ticket. So
Okay, yeah, they can buy things. Okay.
yeah, payment and searching and talking. People rely on also. Many people stop using like a GPS system on the car. They use mobile phone, smartphone, or tablet to see the map. So we relied on so much about that gadget. So that's why we cannot live without our mobile phones.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, and I mean that's one aspect of it. I think the other aspect is the obsession of what is everyone doing now? What's going on
Yeah,
here? And that's Twitter too, is because things are basically in real time, which we talked about before. It's why are we so obsessed with everything? Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to know what's going on in every country at every moment of every day. And that's like, why? I understand. I feel sometimes the same way about, my family. Oh, what are they doing? What's going on? But at the same time,
yeah,
is it necessary?
yeah. Also, it's somewhat dangerous actually. Sometimes
Yeah.
some people show I am here or such kind of action is a bit dangerous actually.
Mm-hmm.
Also, maybe people dare to show their privacy nowadays on social media. So also, maybe some agent collecting all of our information like Snowden, you know,
Mm-hmm.
revealed. Yeah, almost like we are living in a technological Big Brother time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why people are doing so, I think behind that activities, I think maybe some people have a loneliness in their mind,
That's
or yeah, also maybe they want to maybe see me attitude, see me, I'm here, see me, or mostly maybe people feel the loneliness in their mind, so maybe that's the reason they are doing so, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. I suppose I didn't think about that either. Huh.
Mhm.
There's a lot of different things. I mean, like I said, and this might differ because of age, because of country, because of gender, because of many different things. But there's so many things that you're saying that I'm like, wow, interesting. So let's see. In general, do you agree with technology?
I yes, because thanks to the technology, I can attend this class. Before that,
Mhm.
it was impossible. I have I have to learn. Maybe I have to buy a textbook, and it's very difficult to talk with native speakers in the past without internet time.
Mm,
So yeah, also technology gave us a lot of advantage or benefit.
yeah.
So, but maybe everything has a pro and cons. So maybe we need to control or clever usage of technology is necessary
Hmm.
to get a better world to live.
Yeah. No, and I understand. It depends what it is because I think maybe the apps for a map, for example. I'm not sure if I can, talk about certain things, but um, some things just make life a lot easier. And I
Mm,
think that's the good part is when it can make your life easier, that's
yeah, exactly.
when technology is good. Now, when does
Mm,
it make you what's the negative side of technology? I think it's the obsession. It's going
mm,
to hurt people's eyes, especially young children that watch,
right,
TV all day
right.
or have their tablets right next to their face or their phones right next to their face. So
Mm,
there's a lot of, I think, more, I don't want to maybe emotional damage. Now, I mean, nowadays, cyberbullying is a very big issue.
yeah, exactly.
We didn't have that 20 years ago.
Mm, yeah. So some people say social media is pretty emotional media, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, the one big difference nowadays, for example, school bullying.
Hmm.
Before, a bully, left in the weekend, but now bully to bully by text message or secret community or something like that. So
Hmm.
they cannot rest even in the weekend. So it could happen 24 hours or every day. That's
Exactly.
that's terrible.
Well, not
Yeah.
just that, but the point of, things being hacked or people breaking into your system and crashing the computer. I mean, even in Tenga had problems with that. Um, so there's just so many negative things that come with technology, and it's scary. I mean, someone can get a hold of your credit card information, and boom, you have zero money. That affects you, a lot. So like you said, there's positive and negative things to everything. So,
Yeah. Mhm.
um, and that's just kind of the last question is, the advantages and disadvantages. I think when someone uses the technology correctly, there are a lot of advantages. However, if someone uses it incorrectly, as in
Mhm.
anything, there are a lot of disadvantages.
Mhm. Yeah. So advantage this of technology a lot actually, talking about internet, also medical field, and
Mhm.
now yeah. So however, disadvantage as you said, maybe identity theft or
Yep,
such
I
kind of
did. Mhm.
yeah private privacy leaking or so. And I heard the one advantage I was impressed. Uh, because some countries to get a PC connection or PC is not so easy, but to get mobile phone is relatively easier, easy than country or maybe smartphone. So nowadays NGO group, uh, I can say, giving them the second-hand PC with solar battery, so they can access to the internet, and because of that, kids can learn as a lot of subject like a school. In the past, it was almost impossible for them to go to school. So because of that, they can read. Also, they can use maybe in one experiment, a researcher gave them a tabloid without no how can I advice instruction. I mean, however, kids learned how to use it for 1 week without any instruction, and then they can research a lot of things by themselves. Also, since many people began to able to get a mobile phone, nowadays farmer can check a proper price on the market. Before that, they just follow the price the buyer proposed. But now they can check the proper price on the market, so they can negotiate to the buyer. That's the one good advantages of the internet technology. Yeah,
Yeah,
mobile
well,
phone.
again, that's something I hadn't thought of. So that's a really good point. I mean, how can you say, oh yeah, whatever product is this much today, but it was this much yesterday. So how can the price change them? Oh, well, that's just the market. That's what it is. When the person just really wants to make some extra money. So interesting. Well, I'm going to stop the screen sharing. Okay. It's almost time to go. So 1 second here. Okay, it's stopping. Hi again. Okay, so Ken, my final question is, do you think you'll ever get a smartphone?
What did you say?
Do you think you will ever get a smartphone?
Oh, I've never ever gotten the smartphone, and so maybe one reason is, of course, it's still a bit more expensive than usual phone. I mean, a usual mobile phone. And another issue is maybe since I'm an internet addict, so if I get out, I want to have a digital detox time.
Okay. No,
That's
I can
another.
understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the whole too much of of a good thing is bad. So interesting. So you probably would love a smartphone, but you aren't for
Yeah,
many reasons.
exactly. Actually, I have to get out from the room, go to the McDonald's or IKEA to read a book, because in my room I think, oh, maybe something interesting happening on the internet or such kind of thing interfere my reading. So
Well,
yeah.
you know what? Interesting. Okay. Well, again, a new a new thought for me. Um, okay. Well, I will advise you if you do get one soon. Good luck. And it's kind of like with Facebook. I mean, the first day I think we got Facebook, I was at college and my roommate and I were there looking at all of the people and trying to find people from whenever. And we said, okay, we're gonna take a half an hour break. And so we stopped, we closed Facebook, we went to a different room, we sat and had conversation. We're like, oh, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Can we go back? So it's actually that's true. That's true. Sometimes you just need to stop, take a look around and not at your phone, around where you are and what you're doing and things. So the internet isn't everything. Technology is great. Like I said, used correctly, not if not used correctly. So wonderful. So any final thoughts before we finish class for today?
Yeah, this topic maybe today we talk about mainly the internet and mobile phone, smartphone, and maybe it can be applied other technology too. Yeah, it's fun.
There's
It's okay.
so much involved with technology. I mean, I will have more conversations, but I feel that the mobile phone is probably the most common. I mean, basically everyone has it over the age of 12 these days. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important. But yeah, I mean, definitely. There are definitely, I mean, from, for example, VCR tapes. Is that what they're called? Then there was Beta, which is a smaller one.
Yeah, I love
I think.
data. Yeah.
And
I think that-
then did it go to DVDs?
yes, I think so.
I mean,
TBD.
and the same thing with music tapes. You know, we go from tapes, well, from the 8-track, which I don't remember, I don't know, from cassettes to CDs. Someone said, "Oh, do you have CDs?" Yeah. What are CDs? You know? So, so it's like this jump in technology with many different things. So yeah, there are definitely other conversations waiting for us. Absolutely. Well, Ken, I think we'll finish for today. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Any last thoughts, ideas?
I just remember the funny thing. When I got CD for the first time, I thought CD has a B side. So I turned upside down the CD to play. Did you get it?
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
record has a B side, A side and B side. Yeah.
No, I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, you know, things, if you don't know, you don't know. So, you know, this is the perfect example. When you make mistakes, you learn. So, very good. Well, Ken, thanks for your thoughts today. I hope everyone else enjoyed the conversation as well. And I'll be back. Oh, I always forget what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm talking about grammar next week, about going to, be going to, and the present continuous. And that's on Sunday. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem, Ken. Have a great day, and we'll talk on Sunday.
Okay, you too. See you.
All right. Bye.